Hey beauties, good afternoon to you. If you have not yet surrendered your hearts, your minds, your souls to Jesus Christ, please feel free to do so. Is the best being ever. Certainly that would be the best decision you could ever make. Beauties, listen to me now. So my mother bought the Sunday Gleaner and I was reading it, and it is a sad situation where a 59-year-old wife and her 41-year-old husband, the story is told that he killed her because they were found in the vehicle. So he killed her and then he turned the weapon on himself. So it's a murder suicide. Unfortunately, 59 years of age, 41. So she's almost 20 years his senior, 20, almost 20 years older than he is, 18 years. All right, I'm going to share something with you. Everyone does not have to agree, but I believe we can at least encourage some people. Personally speaking, and this is something that my mother has taught me and I've seen where it has worked well. Women, if you have to marry them older, not younger. Especially when the younger, there is a big gulf, there is a gap where that person can be your son. I remember years ago I was listening on a program on the radio, and they were interviewing some young boys who were involved with older women. At the end of it, the question was asked, do you think the relationship will work or they will last? And they said no. I know of a situation where the woman it was about that gap, like about 17, 18 years difference, the woman being older. And the man treated her horribly. Now, don't get me wrong. You have situations where they're similar in age. Maybe the man is 2 years older, she's 2 years older, 5, and you have similar situations. However, there is a difference. I find that in the majority, remember when we come with arguments, they come with majority. They don't speak to the exception to the rule. There will always be exceptions to a rule. Always. That's why they talk about the 80-20 rule or the 90-10, depending on where you're from. But it's generally 80-20. No. 80 to probably 90% of the times, you find where the situation ends bad when the woman is much, much older, where she can be his mother and probably even grandmother. It does not end well, generally, primarily, predominantly, because I don't want somebody to give me a story of a one or two that works out. Again, I'm not talking about the exceptions, and even in those exceptions, trust me, there has to be a lot of mutual respect and love. And I don't know, God had to be in that. I don't encourage it because they end bad. Who remembers that situation with a popular lady, and she disrespected God in an awful manner, and the husband would have been like a similar situation, like it was a gap like that, maybe a little bit older, and her fate was not good, burned to smithereens. Right, beauties, sorry about that. And she was burned to smithereens. And as I said, I know of a situation where, a personal situation, I should say, to someone. When I say personal, meaning I know the person well, married to somebody who is about the same age difference, 18 or 17, 18 years. And I remember going somewhere with them and how I heard the man behaving. I'm like, oh my God. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it doesn't happen in relationships where the man is older or they're similar in terms of age or is barely old. I'm not saying no, because a lot of people are broken. But I'm saying when there are more coals added to the fire, it's heavy. It is tumultuous, because based on the description of what I saw in the Gleaner, it said 8 years they were married for, and it was a tumultuous marriage, and the woman was filing for divorce. I guess she realized what was happening. I don't know if it spoke about any infidelity using, I don't know, but 59 years of age, 41 people. I don't need to put the math out for you to see it. And she lived in Smoky Vale. You see where she lives. So we understand that definitely this seemed to be a well-to-do woman. Now, she wants to supposedly end the divorce. It would end a lot of things probably for the man if he's the one that catched on to the relationship. You see? And the man probably say, no, no, no. You could genuinely have feelings for her in a romantic sense, and probably have the belief that if he can't have another woman, no other man can have her. So I don't know. I am very wary of when the man is younger, especially much younger. I mean, you have relationships where, for example, let's just say the woman is 35 and the man is 30. Some people are not with it, but that's not even bad because technically they're really the same age. I always still prefer when there is a gap between the man and the woman, because my mother often preached this, that the men tend to take longer to age than women. I remember having a former co-worker. I thought he was 19. He was basically 30, and I thought he was 19. I never forgot. And he was 30, I think. I thought he was about 19. I don't know why I guess 19. I just thought he was. I was stunned to know that he was 30 at the time I'm talking. And if you see men age bad, usually I'm not talking about a man who drinks, is a drunkard, smokes. I'm talking about a man who generally keeps himself fairly healthy. Doesn't have to be a vegan or vegetarian or whatnot, but doesn't really drink much. They don't bleach the night, smoke and do all kinds of things. Not promiscuous. Trust me, they tend to age harder because men kind of, I don't want to say frivolous. You see, like a woman with, Lord, I wonder if they this, I wonder if they that, and we worry about her. Everything is on our minds. Men tend to age. We live in a different age though, day and age where nowadays the woman who is 60 probably can look like 40, but is usually with the aid sometimes, They what do you call it, something? I don't want to call it wrong. I don't know if BBL, or whatever it is called, and they are doing all sorts of surgeries to look younger, generally women. So outside of that, and I've seen some women doing all of that, and if the age still say, you could try hide me a little more coming through. I've seen it, and to me, it sometimes they even look older. It still doesn't give them a youthful look. And I'm never the one who go for when the man is younger. I don't know if because in my head I'm saying he's the head of the home. I just like when the gap when he is older. When we're celebrating birthdays, he's the older one. I like it. And I guess I'm using it from Bible days too. Sarah was 10 years younger than her husband. So I don't know, there's always a gap. Because men tend to go through after a certain age, midlife crisis, so them start to some young women. No, I'm not saying they can't see to when the woman young. That's me personally. This is my opinion. I don't encourage it. Everyone is different. I remember speaking with a woman, she said she has no issue. I said, okay, what am I to say? That's her choice. But I often see where it does not end well. Moreover, than when it's a case where the man is older. It does not end well. It ends bad. It ends really bad. Because men are moved by what they see. And when you're aging in your body and your body coming down, women, and there's a big gap and you look 18 years difference and you look old, you're putting your chance of getting born at a higher level than the average Joe or Jane. That's my take on it. I'm not saying they won't cheat. I'm not saying they won't this. I'm not saying that. But you're making the stakes higher, quicker, like the match it just lights quickly without you even have to strike it. Because my take on life mitigate the possibility of, people, committing adultery and doing all kinds of things to damage the relationship. I'm not saying you can stop everything, but I believe in, mitigating some of the issues. That's it. I personally am not one for when they're older. It doesn't end well. Condolences to the family. Really, I'm sorry. There are quite a number of cases like that. It is just a sad state of affair, and I don't know. I don't know what to say. But that's my personal view. Try and stick within. If you have to go, I would prefer the woman go with an older man. Although they always say sometimes they're controlling. But boy, you don't generally find this. But it is what it is, guys. And condolences to them. Guys, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this message.